Crypto markets experienced their biggest crash since the FTX collapse, and this is measured based on leveraged liquidations. But the real question is this all a plan to crash the markets before BlackRock goes live with their Bitcoin ETF? Certainly this is brutal price action, with Bitcoin dropping from $30,000 down to $26,000, with wicks as low as $24,000, all within a matter of hours. But with Bitcoin dominance actually decreasing as this dump took place, it begs the question, is this actually bullish or bearish? Well, as you know, in this channel, we've been telling you to play it slow with any bullish news in the markets. In the year before the halving, anything could happen. And having dry powder on the side to keep accumulating coins when there are major dips, crashes, leverage liquidation cascades, these are the magical gifts from the market that allow for you to get a ton more bang for your buck on your crypto. And that's why we take it slow and steady in the bear market, accumulating the best coins in the market. But before we get to today's video, I need to say I'm back. Yes, I know my last video was quite a few weeks ago, and it was right after I had been hacked on Twitter. And I'll be honest, that was one of the worst moments of my life, one of the worst moments of my whole career here as a creator in the crypto space. Huge thanks to everyone who issued words of support. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about security and in general things that you can do to protect yourself, which is very, very important and a hard-learned lesson. The reason why the break was so long is because I got hacked before I was supposed to leave town for a significant period of time. Given the fact that the hacker clearly knew where I lived, posting and showing that I was out of town or posting from a different location was advised to me by my security team and others that I trust as a really bad idea. So I chose to go dark and not publish some content until we had sorted out all the security stuff that needed to be sorted out. More importantly, I'm back. And not only am I back, but I am so ready for this next cycle, this bull market that I believe is in its earliest stages. And a lot of things are about to change on this channel so I can bring you the absolute best content. I want to expand the team, expand the content, and go harder than I've ever gone, making more content than I've ever made, and bringing you the absolute best news and analysis in the space, not by a little bit, but by miles. With that said, if you're excited for bull market EllioTrades, you know what to do. Destroy that like button, smash it to pieces. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe because we're going to be bringing you the absolute best content, and let's dive into it. So let's get into this. What exactly happened? Well, we had this huge leveraged washout. This essentially means that everyone who was longing Bitcoin, thinking we're about to break out, endless green candle bull run, girthy green candles all around. Well, there was too much leverage in the system, and as the price ticked down, it washed all them out. Byzantine General here says, holy MF shit, we just got the biggest liquidation since the day of the FTX blowup. You can see here on this chart, you can see this red line here. The only day bigger was if we go back here to November of 2022, and that was the amount of liquidations. That's the amount of longs that were wiped off the table. And as longs get liquidated, they turn into forced selling shorts. So what you have is a whole bunch of firepower to the downside, just as much as when people short aggressively and the price ticks up, it's firepower to the upside. So that's how leverage works. Again, we'll explain a lot more of this in our Ultimate Beginner series, which we'll be making here as we come back into a bullish posturing, and we need to be giving the tools to the audience to better navigate this industry. Now, as Adam says here, if you adjust for the amount of liquidity left in the system and the lower coin price, this was actually a huge blow up. Flushed a lot of leverage out of the system, which is why I feel spot buys are pretty decently safe here. Again, spot buys, which is what we specialize here on this channel, is the way to accumulate Bitcoin, Ethereum, the good coins in the market, and just hold them until the bull market comes back. Spot buys are always the safest, even though they can go down in value because you never get completely liquidated. The vast majority of traders do lose money, although some people are good, and if you're really good, you can make a lifestyle out of it. It's just really 1 out of 10, I think, at about most that actually figure out how to do it. That said, I'm not here to knock your game if you're a good trader. I encourage you to learn about charts and technical analysis, as they can be super helpful, and I use them to help identify where I actually want to buy coins for the long run. As I said, the final shakeout has begun. As you can see, I'm back in control of my Twitter. So make sure that you like, retweet, and follow the Twitter, as we're going to be doing a whole lot of fun stuff. Follow me over there on X, or actually not Twitter, it's X now. And let's get this up to 700,000. When I hit 700,000, I'll do a nice giveaway. So make sure you're one of those followers there so you don't miss out on the chance for some juicy free crypto. Now, also, as my buddy Eric Crown would say, I can assure you there will be many calls reemerging for $15,000 Bitcoin. Again, every time the market shifts in one direction or the other, the media piles on saying this direction, oh, all bear market, all bull market. And I've seen it a million times. times. And this is how you get crowded trades. And this is how people lose out on upside and downside, because the reality is that no one's ever always right. But it's the easy play for media outlets. YouTubers, will hop on media narratives and say, hey, look, whichever direction it's going, it's going to be the craziest version of it, because that's what people want to see. That's what people want to buy into. It gets the clicks. So whichever direction the market goes, you can expect media euphoria, which is why calls for $15,000 Bitcoin and much, much, much lower are going to start emerging here. But the real question is this all a plan to get lower priced coins as BlackRock seeks to launch their ETF? Is this all BlackRock's doing? And I wouldn't be shocked if it is, because what BlackRock wants to show with their Bitcoin ETF is tremendous price performance. They don't want a Bitcoin ETF to launch and then all the people that come in lose money. No, it's better for them to launch their ETF as low as they can on price and then have the thing go absolutely bananas. In fact, a recent analysis from Fundstrat's Tom Lee places the price of Bitcoin with the Bitcoin ETF at over $150,000. In fact, as high as $180,000. That is no small chunk of change. However, it does require the Bitcoin ETF. And we know this because insiders have leaked that it's a matter of when, not if, and have in fact put a timescale of the next 6 months as to when they expect the Bitcoin ETF to actually be approved. And if you don't believe that the powers that be are about to give the massive green light to crypto, let me show this to you. You had $769 million liquidated from the crypto markets, and you can see here at 3:05 p.m. yesterday. Then you have just a few minutes later at 3:55 p.m. yesterday, the SEC announces that they're going to greenlight an Ether futures ETF. That means that they're finally letting through an Ethereum-based product. Think about that. If they're letting through an ETH futures ETF, regardless of whether or not they let through the spot Bitcoin ETF, well, that kind of means that they're giving up the battle against Ethereum as effectively an unregistered security. In fact, this could be a way that we could see the SEC mostly waving the white flag against crypto in many ways. Because if Ethereum's not an unregistered security, they did an ICO, they have a centralized company, no anonymous, pseudonymous network like Bitcoin, that opens up the door for so many other protocols to defend themselves vigorously in court. This is insanely bullish, not just for Ethereum, but for the entire crypto space. But before we go further, I want to talk to you about security, because as you know, I just had a massive security breach and it's caused me to completely revamp everything I'm doing. And so today I'm teaming up with NordVPN, and specifically to show you a new product you can add to your NordVPN that makes it completely different than every VPN out there. And it's called Threat Protection. Their threat protection is an absolute game changer, which allows you to protect from malicious ads, trackers, and malware. It's less than $3, and for less than $3, you can actually supercharge your VPN, which is already keeping your information private. If you're in cryptocurrency and you're not using a VPN all the time, protecting your location and the identity of your computer while you're browsing through Uniswap and other decentralized exchanges, you're essentially adding yourself to a list without you knowing it of people who are in crypto, who hold crypto, and that information, if it gets into the wrong hands, could lead to you being targeted, much like I was. Now, I want to be clear. I was targeted first through a data breach where my identity information and everything included in that was stolen. That was the precursor to this hack. And even though I now use threat protection and a litany of other security practices, I highly encourage you to do the same. And so I highly encourage you guys right now, if you have another VPN, ditch it right now, head over to Nord and add threat protection. They encrypt your data so that you're safe when you sign up for Nord. And on top of that, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like this stuff, literally return it for free, zero risk to you. But you signing up with this link below for NordVPN and their threat protection is a huge help to the channel. And it's also something that I use myself, and I promise you, everyone needs to do the same in 2023. I want to be clear. I'm bringing on partnerships with amazing products like Nord and their threat protection because they're things that I use myself. And these sponsorships will help me bring you more and more and more content each and every day so that you can use this channel to not just stay ahead of crypto, but to absolutely crush this next cycle. As you know, I have a lot on my plate, but I do it all myself. And partnerships like this one with Nord will allow me to bring on a big team, much like some of the other financial outlets in the space. And I can add in that layer of analysis that I know you all love so much. Beyond crypto, we have news that China's Evergrande Group, this is the Chinese real estate giant, has just filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy in New York. This is absolutely massive news, as the biggest property developer in China is now clearly in grave danger. And many people are suspecting that this will have a huge contagion effect, causing tons of property builders across China, which remember, China's real estate is their most dominant industry, whereas in America, we have stocks, we have other kinds of financial products. Most people in China just invest in real estate. It's the thing that they trust the most, more than financial products. And China also has very limited capital controls. Real estate's where all the money is. And if China's real estate industry takes a massive blow here, it's going to affect the global economy. And finally, we might end up with this recession that we've been talking about, this recession that will inevitably be cured with, that's right, money printing. If we look back at 2019 to 2011, it is the single thing that every government knows will save the economies. This to me means that we could see massive rate cuts and devaluation of the dollar coming up, which will drive more and more fiat into crypto day over day. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the next cycle will be important, that crypto will be the backbone of a new global financial system, and Bitcoin will be the most important independent wealth mechanism. We also see here that tons of governments are dumping their US treasuries. Again, if this continues to happen, the US will be forced to buy its own treasuries. This is the doom loop that we were talking about, which will lead to rampant inflation and, of course, massive amounts of money printing, which will drive up the prices of stocks, real estate, and, of course, our beloved Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And I know this is old news, but we finally have word that Sam Bankman-Fried is in jail, and apparently it is not a 5-star facility. Apparently this guy is in the slammer, a real slammer, and people think this will truly break him down and that he will eventually plead guilty to all of the fraud and abuse charges. As a little bit of background, it appears as though Sam was actually tampering with witnesses, even though he was being allowed to live in his parents' mansion in Palo Alto with swimming pools and a life of pretty much a luxury, given the hefty nature of the crimes he was being accused of. Well, those privileges weren't enough. He needed to push it as far as he could, violating the terms of his house arrest. And apparently the judge said he had never seen a defendant so far over the line, thinking the rules just didn't apply to him. And I believe this is once again evidence of his character. He just never thought the rules applied to him and that he could literally do whatever he wants, devoid of any sense of reality here. And unfortunately for Sam, he pushed it just a little bit too far and he's now in jail. Again, I wish I was here the day that it happened so I could jump on this news, but I had to bring it up here because it really is important that we end this story with a bang. And it is important that after all the people that Sam's hurt, that he faces serious consequences. As always, I want to reiterate, this is the beginning to me of the bull market. Get ready for bull market EllioTrades because I'm excited to accumulate coins on this dip, which appears to be a leveraged washout, which is really important and healthy for the markets to have these leveraged washouts for the bull market to resume. Again, I don't know where the bottom of the dip might be, but I've been taking a slow and steady accumulation approach that I've encouraged everyone else to do as well. Again, not financial advice. This is just my strategy. And I hope it's helped you guys keep some dry powder on the side for moments just like this. As always, I'm EllioTrades. If you're excited about this, if you're excited about bull market Ellio, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe because we're about to absolutely reinvent the game with the content. And as always, I'll see you very soon on the next episode.